are joining us for the first time, a very big welcome to you. We hope that you're going to find the information we're sharing with you today engaging, and we hope that it's going to aid you on your way to retiring with confidence one day. A special warm welcome today to members of the Municipal Gratuity Fund who are joining us for the first time today. So welcome to the session. We hope you find the information useful and that you'll be back to join us for another session. So if you've joined us before, then welcome back. Sure you know the format of these sessions, where we aim to educate members on everything relating to retirement funding, to retirement benefits, and Imali Zam, my money, or in this instance, your money. So just maybe to do a quick recap on the topics we've covered in the past, and also just let you know where you can find that information. Previous Imali Zam sessions, we focused on the Sanlam member portal or the My Retirement app. We focused on understanding your benefit statements. We looked at the death claims process, the importance of completing a beneficiary nomination form or forms. And our most recent sessions, we looked at how to maximize your retirement savings and, of course, that very important two-part system coming in on 1 September this year. If you want to know where you can find these previous recordings, please visit our Sanlam knowledge base, and I've put the link to the information on the screen. But as you know, we will share the video afterward, and you'll be able to access that information via that link. Our agenda today is well, not short, but it's one topic. Today we're going to be focusing on the member portal or the Sanlam portfolio app. Now, you may have noticed in the previous screen, we have shared information on the app. We have demoed it before, but there's a reason why we're focusing on the app again. Firstly, it's been a while. Our membership has grown, and what we've noticed is there is not a great big take-up in terms of members actually registering for the portal. And we want members to be in the driver's seat of their retirement. Some other exciting news and another reason for focusing on the member portal today is that our app has changed. So within a short time, we will be decommissioning the Sanlam My Retirement app as we've repackaged this information into our new app, which is called the Sanlam Portfolio app. So you can access this information either via your PC or laptop using the member portal, or you can find the Sanlam Portfolio app in the App Store or the Google Play Store. Another reason why we are going to be relooking the app today is, of course, the impending two-part legislation. So yes, we want members to be in the driver's seat of their retirement. It's important for members to know exactly what's going on in their retirement. If one thinks of it, your retirement fund for a lot of members is the single most biggest asset that members will accumulate over time. So why not know exactly what's going on within your retirement fund? If I take, for example, your bank account and I were to ask you, how much money do you currently have in your bank account? Whilst you may not know the exact amount, you're going to know, do I have 5,000 Rand in my account? Do I have 500 Rand in my account? Or do I have 50 Rand in my account? So there's no reason why you shouldn't know exactly what's going on, the benefits of it, your risk benefits, how much you are insured for any given point in time. And that is why the focus today, again, on the Sanlam repackaged portfolio app. Another important reason with the two-part legislation coming in, very important to note, as you can imagine, there'll be we are expecting a number of members to put in the retirement or withdrawal savings claims from their savings pot. We're not going to go into two-part today. We'll keep that for another session closer to the time when the legislation is effective. But for members who have attended previous sessions or heard something about the two-part system, you know that from 1 September on, members will have access to their emergency savings pot. Now, you can imagine that hundreds and thousands of members are probably going to be accessing this, and we want to make it as seamless as possible, the claims process. And therefore, we've introduced, or we will be introducing, the savings claim process via our Sanlam Portfolio app. And that is going to be the only way that members can access a withdrawal from the savings pot. Why else is it important well, I've covered why it's important to register and where we can find it. Some of the practical navigation or key activities that we're going to be focusing on today is how to identify or check what your fund credit is. In other words, how much money do I currently have in my fund? How to update your contact details. And this is very important because in order to access or register on the portfolio, you've got to make sure that your cell phone number and your email address is updated with your employer. And that will allow for a seamless registration onto the app or the member portal. If your information has not been updated, there is still a way that you can register by contacting our client contact center, and they can assist you and guide you with the various steps. But the most efficient and effective way to actually register on the app is to check in with your employer. Make sure that they've got your most recent email address and mobile number, and that way you'll be able to register seamlessly via the app or the member portal. So contact details, and maybe just if you're in the session, very important also if there are HRs who are also members sitting in the session today, important for our disability claimants who we may not be in day-to-day contact with, if it is possible for you to actually reach out to those members, or if you are a member, an employee of an organization, and you know someone who is currently on disability benefits, maybe perhaps also reach out to those members and get them to update their contact details so that they can also register seamlessly on the app. We're also going to be focusing on completing or updating beneficiary nominations, how to perform an investment switch, and then also looking at the retirement savings calculator and exactly how to navigate the calculator. And then lastly, we're going to look at the value-added benefits like Sanlam Reality via the Wealth Bonus lifestyle benefits for Sanlam Corporate. Now, if you didn't know, if you are a Sanlam Umbrella Solutions, a Sanlam Umbrella Fund member, or in your fund you've got benefits via Sanlam Group Risk, then you automatically qualify for Reality via the Wealth Bonus lifestyle benefits for Sanlam Corporate. And then I'm also going to show you how to access the virtual doctor. So I know you may have seen some of these things before and we've touched on it lightly, but what we are going to do today is actually go into the live system, and as far as possible, I'm going to show you exactly the steps to follow. Bearing in mind that we are in the live environment, we've got a number of people on the call today, so I'm hoping that my internet connection is going to work with us today, so please be patient with me. I'm going to switch immediately through to Sanlam Online. So I take it my screen is switched over. We are on the sanlamonline.co.za. And if you look at this guy in the corner, that's what I'm going to click on. And I'm actually going to show you how to register if you have not registered before. I just noted that the screen just changed, so I'm just going to do it again. We are on sanlamonline.co.za. And I'm going to click on that little guy in the corner. And there you can see there's a tab to log in and there's a tab to register. So I'm first going to take us through the registration process. I'm just going to add a combination of real and fictitious information. So you'll note on the screen, it says, I don't have a South African ID number. So naturally, if you are a South African resident, you will include your ID number. If you are not a South African resident, you can click, I don't have a South African ID number, and you can then register with your either foreign ID or your passport number. In this instance, I'm going to be using a South African ID number. And on the next screen, it asks you for your email, which I'm going to do. Sorry about that. I Okay, so once you've accepted the terms, you click the registration button. Right, so in my case, because I'm already registered as a user, it's kicking me out. It's saying the account with this email address already exists. Log in using this email address, but I'll just use a different email address. So I just want to show you as we get to the step where the system actually sends you a one-time PIN. Right, so I'm hoping you can see my screen and you see that the screen's changed to verify that it's you. So this is one of our safety precautionary measures to make sure that no one else can register on your behalf or for you on the app. The system then sends you a one-time PIN, which comes through to the mobile number that you've added, which should be your mobile number. And once you've entered that one-time PIN, the system is going to then register you. It will send you a link via email, which you can click into, and it's going to take you straight into the member portal. Right, so that's basically the registration process. Should take you no longer than 2 minutes to complete. And once you've completed your registration process, you can then proceed to log in. And I'm going to be logging in today using a demo member that we've created. So there we go. You see, okay. So we've now logged in and you can see the system says, hello, Stewart. And immediately you see the various tabs with the various benefits or various information that we've packaged in a certain way. So just to quickly go through that, on the insurance tab, so it's going to, you see it indicates this member's only got one product. That's to say they've, for example, they are a member of a retirement fund, and I can actually click on it. Doesn't mean it's only one benefit, but it's one product. What you see before you is all the various benefits that this member enjoys under his retirement fund, either his pension fund or his provident fund. And if you need more details, you can click on the view full details. For now, I'm not going to focus on that. And then if you've got other products with Sanlam, this is a one login for all your Sanlam products. We're going to focus a bit more on the retirement. So let's say you had your retirement fund, which our members will have, and you've also got a retirement annuity with Sanlam. It will actually indicate that you have two products with Sanlam. And if you've taken any investment products, loans, or you've asked Sanlam to draw up and safekeep your will, or you've got a unit trust, it will all be listed here. For today's session, our focus is going to be on the retirement fund. So I'm going to click through to that page. And what it's showing you here is the members fund credit. Remember, it's a fictitious record that we've created. So we've just loaded a small fund credit there. And that is basically saying to us that this member's got a total market value of 3,500. Now, to view more information, you can click the view full details. Right. On the top right, the system will give you notifications in terms of timeouts or when the system will be closed for updating and things like that. You can just cancel out there. What I want to show you now before we look at some of these features is actually how to update your contact details. Sorry, I'm just looking at my moderator who's feeding me questions through via WhatsApp. Okay, so we're going to update my profile by clicking on the My Profile tab, and there you can see all the information that we currently have on the record. So if you know for the fact that your cell phone number is going to change, or you've got a preferred email address, like with Stuart here, he's got his work email address. but you know that you want to interact with Sanlam via your personal email address, then you can change your contact details by just updating it in those fields and click the Update My Contact Details tab, and that will automatically update your contact details. So back on the menu, so this is the main menu in terms of your retirement benefits, and there's a few things we're going to look at as per the agenda. We're going to focus on my beneficiaries and how to either change or upload new beneficiaries. We're going to have a look at your investments and how to initiate an investment switch. And of course, we're going to look at the savings calculator. So I'm going to go straight into the my beneficiaries. So as you can see on the screen, this member has got a benefit, a group life assurance benefit or a death benefit of 1.3 odd million. And currently he has nominated his two sons as beneficiaries, each getting 50% of the benefit. How to update this? So you see he's got his wife there, so I'm just going to change the allocation for each member because the allocation has got to equal 100%. I'm going to give the wife 25%, and I'm going to add a new beneficiary, and I'll just take you through those steps as well. Mr. Bart Simpson, let's say that's his brother. And what I normally do here is just select any date because it's easier. Then I can just go back and, oops, sorry, let's just start that again. Fifth of March, 77. Right. You could also add special notes here that you would like the trustees to consider. For example, you have loaded your brother as a beneficiary whilst he may not be dependent on you. You want to leave him a share for whatever reason. Perhaps you reared him or he's living in your house or he's dependent on you, and you can add those notes in the notes field provided. And once you click done, I'm going to add a percentage for the brother. The total must equal 100% before it will actually allow you to save. And just before I save this, you may have noted on the screen that below the normal beneficiaries for the Provident Fund Group Life benefit, we also indicate beneficiaries for the funeral benefit. And this legislation has been around for, I think we've implemented since around about October 2021. Where you need to nominate a beneficiary to receive your funeral benefit. This is very important because essentially a funeral benefit is there to provide for a funeral in times of bereavement, and it is in the member's best interest to nominate a beneficiary so to avoid the money being paid into the estate account. No longer can the employers have any discretion in terms of where the money must be paid, and neither does the insurer. So if you do not nominate a beneficiary for your funeral benefit, the money will be paid to your estate late. Now you'll also notice that we've got a first nomination and a second nomination. That does not imply that the benefit is going to be split in two. All it's saying is that in the event that the first nominee predeceased you, the money will then be paid to the second nominee so that you always sure that there is someone to receive the money and take care of funeral arrangements. You'll see there's a little note on there where we're saying beneficiaries must be older than 18 years old and hold a bank account in the Republic of South Africa. So I'm going to save this record. And there are terms and conditions which you can accept. Okay, and there we've received confirmation that our beneficiary was loaded successfully. What we've introduced is a quick survey for various functions of the app. You don't have to do the survey, but it's just a 3 question, well, actually 2 if you, I'm just going to select that and submit. If you want to provide further information on the experience of updating your funeral beneficiaries or group life beneficiaries, and you feel the process can be more effective, then by all means, give us your feedback and opinions. Okay, going back. So as you can see, the benefit is now split. I'm going to go back to the home screen and then just back into beneficiaries, and you will see that the system has actually recorded my new beneficiaries now as we've just updated them. Okay. Next, we're going to look at our investments. So some members, depending on what option you belong to under the Sanlam Umbrella Fund, you may be part of the standard arrangement. And in that instance, your employer selects an investment default on your behalf, and all members in the fund invest their money into the employee selected default. Alternatively, if you belong to one of the other arrangements, like the comprehensive arrangement, for example, it means that the employer will still select a default for their employees, but you have an option to opt out of the default and invest your money in one of the 26, 27 trustee-approved investment portfolios that we've got available under the Sanlam Umbrella Fund. So what the screen is showing us is that we've got all our money invested in the MRF Conservative. These are just examples. They aren't portfolios relevant to everyone on the Sanlam Umbrella Fund. You could calculate your money weighted return. So you could see how much has my money made over a period of, for example, 6 months, 12 months, 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years. What I want to focus on today is requesting a change. So this is in effect how you process an investment switch. Important to note, consult your financial advisor, benefit consultant, if you are thinking about making an investment switch. Yes, some of us are familiar with various investment portfolios, and there are fact sheets available that enables you to make an informed decision. But if you are not familiar with investment portfolios, then we strongly urge you to seek assistance from your contracted financial advisor before actually initiating an investment switch. Just before I click the request change button, you will notice that we've got a note there saying that the switch will be implemented within 2 to 5 working days. And this is done intentionally, so to avoid members trying to play the market and using their retirement fund to do that. So irrespective of what the price is today, you can initiate an investment switch, but we will not process that investment switch on the first and the second day. We will process it on day 3, and your switch will be completed by day 5. So I'm going to hit the request a change button. Okay. So you've got 2 choices. So either you were in the default and you've selected your own portfolios and you've come back and realized that, but my employer selected default is actually doing better than my own portfolio. So in that instance, you will click, I want to select a predefined trustee investment strategy. And in this instance, it will highlight the employer selected default portfolio. So I'm selecting that, and for this specific member, because he's already invested in the trustee approved or employee selected default, it says you're already in this life stage, so the member cannot switch to a portfolio that he's already in. So let's assume the member wants to switch and make his own choice. So it will call up the menu, and like I've mentioned earlier, we've got about 20, 26, 27 investment portfolios. If your employer has made all of them available to you, in this environment, you've just selected a few random portfolios. But let's say this member wants to switch into an aggressive portfolio as well as into some of the money in a conservative portfolio. So I'm just going to add those 2 portfolios. You will select the relevant portfolios available to you from the drop-down. And let's say the member wants to place 70% of his money in aggressive portfolio and 30% of his money in a more conservative portfolio. Now remember, what we're doing now is switching. The members currently got 3,500 Rand. Hopefully, as a member who's viewing us today, your fund credit is way more than that. And let's say you've got 350,000 or even better, 3.5 million. And you've decided this is the way you want to split your 3.5 million effective from the date of the switch. So after you hit the continue button, there's also future contributions. So whilst you're splitting your current money, you still need to tell us, what do I do with my new money that's coming into the fund? Because you are making contributions as you go along. So you could, under the Sanlam Umbrella Fund, we allow a maximum of 4 investment portfolios. So you could choose to add another portfolio or another 2 portfolios. In this instance, I'm just going to redirect the future contributions in the same proportion as I have at the fund credit. And that's it. I'm going to hit the continue button. And again, on the screen, it's going to ask you for your email address. I'll just put mine in there. You've got to tick that you've read the terms and conditions and hit the continue button. So when you do that, it just confirms that your money was invested in X portfolio and you decided your new portfolio, your new allocation is 70% MRF aggressive and 30% conservative. And also for your future investments or your future contributions, you've done the same. And if you are happy that you've initiated the investment switch correctly, you can hit the continue button. And at this point, it says, are you sure you want to make this change? I'm not going to hit that button now, considering this is a demo member, but in effect, that is the process. You're just going to say, okay, I hit the button. And then it says, thank you, your new investment choice requested has been submitted. Right, so that's how you process an investment switch. So the last thing I want to focus on is the savings calculator, and that's within the retirement fund menu, and that's before we check out some of the other value-added benefits. Okay, so we're going to hit the savings calculator. That's just a message coming up for the demo member that we are using, who is within 7 years from retirement, but it's fine. It's just asking you, I'd like to continue. If you are more than 7 years from retirement, you won't get that pop-up. All right. So what the retirement calculator does or aims to do is project based on your current salary, based on the amount that you are saving currently, how much money will you be able to earn or receive as a pension or as an annuity within your retirement years. So bearing in mind, we've got a very fictitious record set up here, and the current replacement ratio is 2%. Ideally, that number should be sitting considerably higher, but we're going to see how high we can get it by changing the options. So immediately you'll see there's a thumbs down arrow indicating you need to save a lot more for retirement. So what does the 2% mean? What does it mean to our members who doesn't understand the replacement ratios? So to simplify it, in essence, what it means is if you are earning, and I'll just pick a fictitious salary, if you are earning 10,000 Rand a month currently, and you are saving toward retirement, remember the system has got your information in terms of what your salary is, how many years you still have toward retirement, how much you are contributing, and where your money is invested. So using those factors as well as other factors available, it will determine in the future when you retire how much money you would have built up and how much of your last salary you can replace with the money that you've saved in retirement. So in this instance, if the member had, currently earns a salary of 10,000 Rand, I'm not going to use the 2% figure, it's just too low. Let's say that number was sitting on 10%. It would imply that he saved enough money at retirement to buy him a pension that's going to pay him 1,000 Rand a month. In other words, it's 10% of his last salary. So ideally, we want that number to be quite significantly higher. And based on the tool that we use, so we aim for a 75% net replacement ratio. In other words, if the member's salary was 10,000 Rand, we want to get this amount up there to 75% so that in retirement, the member has saved enough to earn at least or to receive a pension of 7,500 Rand a month. So what can we do to change those outcomes? So let's look at explore my options. So there's a number of things we can do, and just bearing in mind that this is just a calculator. It's there to give you a guide. It's there that you can use to check for yourself before you actually engage a financial advisor, perhaps, and speak to him or her. So some of the options available to you could save more for retirement. So let's say this member, I'll use an example because his net replacement ratio is only showing on 2%. So let's say he recently joined this company and he recently started saving in this fund. His contribution is quite significant, 19.5. It's not exactly low, but he had a previous fund credit or at another company he used to work for, and he's put that money in a preservation fund. He's preserved that money. So and let's say he's got an RA as well, and in this RA, the member is contributing, I don't know, let's say 2,000 Rand a month. Now, you could show results with just doing that one change, but let's go through all the options available. Other savings, so this is the amount I spoke about. Let's say he's got a fund credit. He has actually worked for about 30 years, and this money is sitting in a preservation fund, and he's currently got, let's say, 2 million Rand sitting in a preservation fund. So we want to bring that amount into the calculator so that we can get a more realistic picture of what this member could potentially earn in retirement. Retirement age, because the member we're using is older than retirement age, there aren't really much options here, but generally speaking, your members, if they are younger, you can play around with this, either make your retirement age earlier or later. In this instance, the member can't retire earlier than the age that he is currently. So use the calculator. Perhaps you are 35 years old or 40 years old, and you've said to yourself, I'm going to retire at age 55, even though your normal retirement age at your company is 65 or 63 or whatever that may be. You've set your goal to retire at 55. So you want to save the right amount of money to ensure that you can retire comfortably at age 55. So I'm going to leave the retirement age as is. So in terms of investment expectations, you will recall just minutes ago, we went in and performed an investment switch, and this member switched his money into a more aggressive portfolio. So the calculator is using certain assumptions. So we can either choose your own assumptions, or you can just say, I'm going to choose or invest my money in more aggressive portfolio and see what that does to my retirement savings. Next, earn more money. Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot just put in a percentage there and automatically that's what our annual increases are going to be. But what we can do on the screen is just align it to what your average increase. So if you know for the fact that your average increase over the last year or two, etc., has been 6%, then you can adjust that amount. And similarly, if you know you've been receiving increases of 10%, it's important that you adjust the expected annual salary increase, because otherwise you are going to be saving for a lower assumed salary at retirement. What else? So the calculator uses a relationship status to determine the amount or the size of the pension that you're saving for, or what it would pay out. It defaults to a joint life pension, joint life guaranteed pension. So what that says is, when I retire, I'm going to purchase a joint life guaranteed pension. So in other words, you are male or you've got a spouse, and you want your spouse insured as well. So if something happens to you, your spouse then continues to receive a benefit for the rest of her life. Alternatively, let's say both yourself and your spouse are career-driven, or you both got jobs and you're both saving toward retirement, and you've got no plans on purchasing a guaranteed pension, but you are going to purchase a living annuity. Forgive me if those terms sound a bit strange to you or weird, but we will cover that in another Imali session. But let's say you are going to opt for a single life pension. In other words, my wife or my husband has got a pension, they're saving for their retirement. I'm going to purchase a not a guaranteed pension, but a living annuity, and I'm choosing a single life. So, and then finally, this is the final option where you say, if I'm going to withdraw, if I'm going to retire, am I going to withdraw any money? Or if you're planning on changing jobs, for example, do you plan on withdrawing any money? So I'm going to leave that blank, and I'm going to show results. Right. So with the changes, just to revisit the changes that we've done, we've brought in an additional monthly contribution. We've brought in a 2 million rand lump sum that the members got saved in a preservation fund. We've left the retirement age. We've increased or changed the investment portfolio to a more aggressive portfolio. We've changed the type of pension to a single life pension. And the result of that is that the net replacement ratio changes from the 2% that it was to 36%, just changing those assumptions. So what it says, I'm going to use the 10,000 Rand example again. Let's say this was on 10%. It means the member would have saved enough to purchase a pension that's going to pay him 1,000 Rand a month. Whereas in this instance, bringing about these changes or bringing in the other factors, the member is actually going to save enough money to pay him a pension of 3,600 Rand a month of that 10,000 Rand. So as you and I can both see, it's not ideal, it's not adequate, because the target is 75%, but it just means that members have tougher decisions to make. Also, our members, we understand members for various reasons may perhaps opt not to save as much in the retirement fund. Perhaps you've got a property portfolio, but it's better to know than not knowing. We can't plan a retirement or to retire with confidence based on assumptions. We've actually got to use the tools available to us so that we know beforehand this is the trajectory of the retirement that we are going on. So once you've made these changes, you can actually make use of our download tool. And what it does, it gives all your information. It says this is where I currently am, but with the changes I plan to bring about, that's what my net replacement ratio is going to look like. And it actually lists the current situation and the what-if situation. So these are the things that you've changed, like the 2 million and the 2,000 Rand contribution, etc. And it also gives the assumptions that the system uses to project those values. And this is a document that you could potentially print out, and you could take it to your financial advisor to have a look at. All right, so that's it for the retirement calculator. Play with it. You are not issuing any instruction. It's just for the contact details, beneficiary nomination, and the investment switch, where you're actually transmitting an instruction to us. In this instance, you are just playing around with the figures to do a projection. If, for example, you decide, but I'm liking what I'm seeing and I actually want to increase my contributions, you could click the email button, and what it does, and I'm hoping it's going to work there we go. So what it does is it creates a neatly packaged email for you. So it says request for additional voluntary contribution for Mr. Phillips, with your membership number, your ID number, your cell phone number, all your relevant details, and it says which fund you belong to. And it's a normal email that it generates, and you could then send that email to your HR officer or payroll officer to instruct them to either increase or create an additional voluntary contribution of X amount for yourself. Yeah, like I said, it's a normal email, so I mean, you could still type within that email. Okay, so what I want to do next is have a look at some of the value-added benefits So I'm just going back to the portfolio, which is, you'll see it's the home screen where we initially started on, where we went to log in there. And I'm just going to log me up, which is great because I did want to log in under the different profile. Just excuse us once again. Like I said, we are working in the live environment and we've got a number of attendees on the call. So I think my Wi-Fi may just be taking a little bit of strain, but I'm sure we'll get there. I'm also just noting that we've received a number of questions. So I'm going to try to not be too long with the value added benefits. I'm just going to focus on a few of them and show you how they work and how you actually access them. All right. It looks like we've got progress. Just going to give it another few seconds. Here we go. So I'm going to go to Sanlam Reality. So there will be a reality tab. So I mentioned earlier on, if you are a member of the Sanlam umbrella funds, or you could be a freestanding fund, but you've got risk benefits like death and disability benefits with Sanlam Group Risk, you automatically qualify for reality via the wealth bonus lifestyle benefits for Sanlam Corporate. If we've got your contact details, then you have, to an extent, been pre-registered. You just have to go to the login screen and it will register you automatically. It literally takes a number of seconds. So I'm going to go straight into the reality benefits. Thanks for your patience. I can assure you, when you are working on your cell phone or your laptop alone with no, not in a sort of Teams or Zoom call environment, it's definitely not that slow. Okay. So again, lots of content within the reality site. I'm just going to focus on a few of the things that I think are important, and also some of the benefits that I actually use. I can give you a first-hand account of how they work. So I'm going to explore the wealth bonus. Okay, so under Explore, you'll note that there are different sort of tiers of benefits. The free one that we qualify for is the Wealth Bonus Lifestyle for Sanlam Corporates. For Sanlam Corporate, there are options for you to scale up, one of the various options, and they do come at a cost, but the higher the fees or the cost, the more the benefits are. So I'm just going to go into the standard or the free one. And what I'm going to share with you now, maybe our moderators can also just give me an indication. I'm going to play a video for you. It's a nice little summary of the benefits before we actually go and look at how you access some of those benefits. The video is 1 minute 45 seconds, so it's not too long. Maybe just sit back and have a look. And maybe one of the moderators can also just let me know if there is sound to my video. So that was the video covering basically what wealth bonus lifestyle benefits looks like for Sanlam Corporate. We can have a closer look at some of these benefits. This is just listing exactly what you've seen there. And I can comment on some of these benefits. For example, the new Metro benefits. You can see the amounts indicated there. This is a benefit that I often use. And if you do the maths, it works out to 148 Rand for 2 people for a movie with popcorn and a Coke. I don't know when last you've been to the cinema, but you just can't get it at those prices. Some of the other nice benefits is liquor slab. Currently, it's showing a 5% discount, but I know they do run promotions. I think they've currently actually got a 33% promotion running. I'm actually going to click on the link. And so you can click on these various tabs to see how it works, what are my benefits, and it gives you the various benefits based on the various tiers. If you want to book now, it actually tells you it's going to redirect you to the Liquor Slab website. And you can then, so it's making it convenient for you, and you can browse their site. Something I did want to add was in November last year, they actually had a 50% discount on a number of their places. So go and check out, as part of your benefits, the Liquor Slab rewards benefit. Yeah, other benefits for our fitness freaks, Planet Fitness, I'd love to say that that's a benefit that I'm currently using and enjoying, but the reality is not. Discount coupons. I saw we had a question on discount coupons. This is also something that I make regular use of. I want to give you a quick, show you how that works. So you click on the discount coupons and it brings it all up. You can either filter by category. So there's braai, cooking, dairy and desserts, foods, etc. I'm just going to take any random category and I'm going to add that to my cart. So for example, Black Cat peanut butter, I'm going to add that and you see it appears on the right hand side in my cart. I'm going to go to a different page. So there's something that we often buy. So cheese, there's save 20 Rand. I've added that to my cart. And Parmalat yogurt, save 5 Rand. I'm adding that to my cart. And okay, that's enough for now. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to, so the system's got my information. You can see that's a cell phone number there, and I'm going to click the send SMS button. So it does take a couple of seconds or a minute, but hopefully it comes through on my side, and I can actually just share with you more or less how that SMS works. So it gives you, it sends you a voucher, and the instructions is in the SMS. It tells you exactly when you go to a ShopRite or check a store, this is the voucher that you provide before you make your payment, and that's how you access your discount. Okay. Another important benefit is an online will. That's also very easy. There's not a long online process. So I've just clicked on the online will button. All we'll be doing here is really clicking on the contact me tab, and you are completing your details. And that's going to allow one of the will's specialists to contact you and arrange a suitable time, to meet to finalize your will. Sorry, I've got a number of things running in the background now, so I'm just going to, there we go. So there's the contact me screen. So it's very simple, your name, your contact number, and your email address, and you hit the submit button, and that's it. Someone is going to contact you about drawing up your will. And I'm just mindful of the time. I notice we've got 10 minutes left. Look, there's legal assist. These are quite easy to navigate. It's just going to give you the telephone number that you need to contact. It is on the screen. So by calling 0860-732-54809, I'm just going to read the top. It says unlimited 24/7 telephonic advice line manned by qualified in-house attorneys, and you can receive guidance on legal matters, including a referral to an attorney for a free face-to-face 30-minute consultation. You also qualify for assistance with a letter of demand and a telephone call. So you've got the benefit. Someone owes you money, make use of the legal assist available to you. Yeah, those are just some of the benefits. I really would want to take you into WealthSense just maybe for a minute. WealthSense has got some very interesting articles, and like the first one here, where is it? How to start investing with 10 Rand. So I'm sure some of us on the line is thinking, you know, I'm barely making it through the month. You know, just go onto the website and go and read through the various articles. There's an option how to start investing with just 10 Rand. There's a number of interesting articles here, and some of us maybe don't feel that we're comfortable asking these questions to a financial advisor. Perhaps we're going to sound a bit silly, but there are some nice articles. Smart digital habits are productive people, for example. I quite enjoy visiting that site. Lastly, just before we finish, before we go to some questions, I'm going to access the Sanlam Virtual Doctor. As you know, again, you are a member of the Sanlam Umbrella Funds. You qualify for Virtual Doctor. You don't need to have any medical aid. It doesn't cost you any money. And I'm quickly going to show you. I've just clicked the Book Now tab, how that works. So it takes you back into the retirement benefits menu, and all you need to do is scroll down. Book a free virtual doctor consultation. Book now. So that's just giving you the information. As a Sanlam Umbrella Fund member, you have access to free online consultation with a GP, a psychologist, that's a newly added benefit which we added late in last year, or nurses anytime, anywhere, no waiting rooms, no queues. So I'm actually going to click on the book now, and you'll see it will bring up our demo members information there. And I'm going to click on Start Consultation. And hopefully you can see my screen as we actually navigate to the virtual doctor. Okay, can't access my camera now, but that's really how simple it is. It says, if you can see on the left, you are in the queue, please wait, and you can, that's how you access the virtual doctor. You can either select a booking for a specific time, or you could just wait in the queue. So I'm going to try and close off some of, there's someone from the, I haven't been waiting for even a minute, and someone from Virtual Doctor is actually calling me to have my consultation. Sorry, Kirsten, for doing that. But I think that's a great demonstration of how the system actually works. That is real, that's in real time. Okay, I'm going to switch off and I'm going to go back to my presentation. And let's have a look at some of the questions that you've got. I know we've only got about 6 minutes left. I'll just start, pick a couple of random questions, but important to note, we do a Q&A document, which we make available post the session, and we will send out that document to everyone who's accepted the Imali invitation. So I've got one question. Is the doctor available to me only or for my family as well? It is available to you as a member of one of the Sanlam Umbrella Funds only. So no, it's not available to members. I'm just going through some of these questions. Question about vouchers. Used to always be able to get vouchers, and now it is disabled. Why? So I'm going to share with you, if you're looking at my screen right now, who to contact. So we've got our client contact center. That's the email address as well as the phone number or WhatsApp number. You're welcome to WhatsApp them directly and they can be of assistance. And then we've also got our individual member support contact information if you need to speak to a retirement benefit counselor. Perhaps you are planning to retire in the next year, 2 years, etc., and you want some counseling. Or perhaps you're planning to resign and you need to withdraw and you need some, not advice, but some counseling in terms of what you could potentially do with your money and what products are available, etc. So for the question on the vouchers, please contact our client care center and get them to, they'll be able to assist you. Why does the system not allow you to load an entity as a beneficiary? I think that is a legal matter. You have to, you can only nominate a natural person as a beneficiary. If you want some more information on that, I think when we do the Q&A, we'll actually consult with someone in our fund secretariat environment, and they can just elaborate on that for us. But to my understanding, you can only nominate a natural person. Is the payout to nominated beneficiary subject to the distribution of your estate? The answer is no, it is not. So for approved benefits, the trustees of the fund follow the process in terms of Section 37C of the Pension Fund Act, and they've got a responsibility to make sure that the money and the benefit in your fund is allocated to your dependents, first of all, and then perhaps other nominated beneficiaries. I think we've covered that in the presentation. Must I nominate someone to receive my funeral benefit? Yes, indeed. As I explained, if you haven't nominated someone to receive your funeral benefit, it will be paid to your estate. The insurer no longer has any discretion in terms of how and where to pay your money in the absence of a completed beneficiary nomination form. And maybe just one or two more. Can I continue working and saving for retirement past my retirement age? The simple answer is yes. It is all up to your employer and dependent on the relationship with your employer. If your employer agrees that you can continue working past the normal retirement age, you can continue contributing to the fund. What may end, depending on how your risk benefits are structured, let's say you have reached 65 years old or about to be 65 years old, and if the employer's risk benefits are up to age 65, what it's going to mean is that your group life assurance and disability income benefits, those will stop by the fund, but you will still be a member of the fund and you'll still be able to save for retirement. Maybe just squeeze in one last one before we end it for the day. Can you explain the importance of beneficiary nominations when it comes to approved versus unapproved benefits? That's a very good question. So I'll try to keep the answer as brief as possible. So approved benefits are benefits taken out for you via the fund, where the trustees have a responsibility to ensure that the money is paid to your identified through dependents and beneficiaries. So it always helps to have a beneficiary nomination form, as it expresses your wishes to the trustees. But in the absence of a beneficiary nomination form, based on information that the trustees will gather from the beneficiaries, surviving spouse, children, etc., the trustees are able to make a decision in terms of the allocation of that death benefit. In the event of an unapproved death benefit, this meaning a death benefit that your employer has taken out via a separate policy of insurance, the insurer has got absolutely no discretion. So if you have not completed a beneficiary nomination form and you've got unapproved death benefits, that money will be paid to your estate. Just another point on unapproved benefits. So if you've nominated person X and person Y to receive 50% each of your benefit, that is exactly who the insurer will pay it out to. It's not subject to 37C of the Act, so the insurer doesn't apply any discretion. They pay out the money as per the beneficiary nomination form. Okay, so I note that it's 2 o'clock. We've reached the end of our time. I want to thank you very much for joining us for today's session. Again, big shout out to the Municipal Gratuity Fund members who's joined us today. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And like I said earlier on, I hope the information that we shared with you helps you as you journey towards a retirement or living confidently in retirement. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Virgil Prinsloo. Looking forward to seeing you at the next Imali Zama. Goodbye.